I'm going to keep this straightforward because what matters most is whether the Zumex Essentialprosilver actually fits into your kitchen routine, not the hype you see on a sales page. If you're on the fence about spending a few $100s on a countertop juicer, this review will walk through the everyday pros and cons so you can decide if it's a smart buy for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's acknowledge the hesitation most people feel. A motorized citrus juicer sits somewhere between a cheap handheld reamer and a commercial-grade extractor, so the price tag can feel risky. You're probably wondering whether you'll actually use it enough to justify the space it takes, whether the juice quality will be noticeably better than a manual squeeze, and if the cleaning process will turn a quick breakfast into a chore. Those are all valid concerns, and they're exactly the questions I tried to answer by looking at the typical usage patterns of people who buy this kind of equipment. In the world of citrus juicers, the main categories are manual presses, low-speed electric models, and high-speed commercial units. The Zumex Essential Pro lands in the middle. It's an electric, motor-driven machine built for home or small business use, with a stainless steel reamer that rotates at a speed fast enough to extract juice quickly, yet slow enough to keep the heat down and preserve flavor. The silver finish gives it a polished look that blends into a modern kitchen, and the overall design feels more substantial than a handheld squeezer. Setting it up is as simple as plugging it in and positioning the waste container under the spout. The unit sits about the size of a small toaster oven, so you'll need a clear spot on the countertop. The power cord is long enough to reach most outlets without a surge strip, which is a small but handy detail if you have a cramped kitchen island. Once you have a citrus fruit in hand, whether it's a lemon for a morning tea, an orange for a quick glass of vitamin C, or a grapefruit for a brunch cocktail, the reamer grabs it and begins to spin. Within a few seconds, you get a steady stream of juice without the manual effort of twisting a hand press. One of the strongest practical points I observed is consistency. Because the motor applies even pressure, each orange yields a similar amount of juice, which is something you can't guarantee with a manual press. If you're making a batch of margaritas or a large pitcher of fresh orange juice for a weekend brunch, that predictability saves you time and reduces waste. The juice also comes out clear, with very little froth, which makes it easier to layer drinks or add to recipes that require a smooth texture. Cleaning is often the deal breaker for electric juicers, and the Essential Pro tries to make it painless. The reamer and the funnel are removable, and the waste container simply slides out. Rinse them under running water and you're done. There's no need to disassemble a complex gear train. In practice, that means you can squeeze a lemon for a salad dressing, clean the parts in a minute, and be ready for the next task. Of course, the stainless steel surfaces can retain a faint citrus oil film if you don't rinse promptly, but a quick wipe with a damp cloth takes care of it. Now for the trade-offs. The first thing you'll notice is the noise level. The motor isn't as quiet as a hand press, and while it's not ear-splitting, it's audible enough that you'll hear it in an open-plan living space. If you're juicing early in the morning while others are still sleeping, that could be a consideration. The second drawback is the footprint. The unit's base is wider than many compact electric juicers, so it can dominate a small countertop. For people who already have a crowded prep area, you might need to rearrange a few things just to accommodate it. Another point worth mentioning is the fruit size limitation. The Essential Pro is designed for standard citrus lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, even small pomelos, but it will struggle with very large or oddly shaped fruits. If you regularly juice specialty varieties like caracara oranges or thick-skinned mandarins, you may find you have to trim them down to fit the reamer. That's not a huge hassle, but it adds an extra step that manual presses usually handle more forgivingly. Who should consider buying this? If you juice at least a